Hello, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Claudia. Today we'll be making a very simple, quick, and delicious dish that can be found all over Portugal. And the origin of this dish is a little bit murky, but it seems to be connected to a Galician immigrant from northern Spain who came to Lisbon during the Spanish Civil War, and his last name was Bitoque. It consists of a thin steak served with fries and rice and topped with a fried egg and a butter sauce, and also served with a little side salad. And previously, I remember growing up as a child, it would be also served with a slice of jamon, which is like the Spanish ham. So it would be the steak, the jamon, and then the fried egg. But lately, that part of the dish has sort of dropped aside, and now it's just the steak with the fried egg on top. So enough of the chit chat, let's get going. Bora cozinhar. So this dish has three different components. We have the fries, the plain white rice, and the steak. So I'm gonna get started on the fries because they need to soak in water for about 20 to 30 minutes. So we want to use either russet potatoes or Idaho potatoes, and we're gonna go ahead and peel them. Okay, potatoes are peeled. Now let's cut them into our fries. We want to make sure that they're even and not too thick. Okay, so now we've cut them like that. And now we're gonna, instead of, normally I would cut fries like this, we're gonna cut them this way and put them in ice cold water. So we've cut up the fries. You don't need a lot of fries. I would do like maybe one potato for two people because you also have the rice. So now you're gonna wash the fries. So you wanna drain out the water, fill it back up until the water is clear. This way we're getting rid of some of the starch. Okay, our water is clear now. I washed out the fries like 2 times, and I'm gonna add some ice to the water. The ice is going to, the fries are gonna be really crispy on the outside and then really soft on the inside. So we're gonna soak them for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now that our fries are soaking in the water, we can move on to the next step, which is prepping our steaks. I have 2 fast fry steaks, like so. They are thin steaks, and I have 2, and that will be enough for the 3 of us plus some leftovers. And what I like to do is just cut them in half. So you don't want to use a very thick steak, and it doesn't have to be an expensive cut. These are like fast fry steaks. Okay, so I've cut them in half, whoops, like so. And I'm going to tenderize them a little bit. We don't want to flatten them out. We just want to give them a little love tap, like so. So now I'm going to lightly salt them. And I have 2 bay leaves. So I'm gonna put the bay leaves like so. Put it here. And then I have 3 cloves of garlic that I sliced up, and I'm just gonna place them on top. And then usually what I like to do is I stack them up this way, and we're gonna let it rest while we prep the rest of our things. I'm gonna cover it up. So now we can get started on our plain white rice. So I'm just plain white rice. That's all you're making. Just make enough for, like, if you're serving 2 people or 4 people. You don't need to have like a full serving, like half a serving of rice for each person is plenty, because you're gonna have the fries and the fried egg and the steak. So let's do that. I have my rice here and I'm just gonna season it. Okay, our fries are done soaking. I just ran them through the salad spinner. You want them really dry. And now I'm gonna put them on a kitchen towel and dry them further. So just pat them dry, make sure they're completely dry, no water left. Okay, now we're gonna put them in a bowl. And season them with a little bit of oil. I'm using avocado oil, so just spray them lightly. There we have it. And now salt them. And I'm gonna be frying them not the traditional Portuguese way, but in the air fryer. So I have my air fryer heating at 400 for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna cook them at 380 for between 12 and 15 minutes, one layer at a time. I find that they turn out better like that. Our fries are almost done, and so is our rice, and it's time to get started on the steak. For the steak, you're going to need some thyme. I'm using fresh thyme. You can also use a teaspoon of dried thyme. Mustard, I'm using Dijon mustard. Just shaking up my fries. As I was saying, I'm using Dijon mustard. A quarter cup of beef or chicken broth. I only have chicken broth, so that's what I'm using. And a quarter cup of some good quality white wine. Remember that you always want to use good wine for your cooking because you're bringing out the flavors of the wine when you cook it. So if you use a wine that's not of good quality or doesn't taste as good, it's going to reflect in your recipe, in your taste. You're going to be able to taste it. Okay, so let's get started with the steak. We're gonna heat our pan to medium heat and add in about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I like to do maybe 3 swigs around the pan, like so. Okay, the oil is hot. It's time to add in our steaks. And we're also adding the garlic and the bay leaves. And you just want the pan at medium heat, not too hot. So we're gonna saute them, or we're gonna cook them 2 minutes on each side, 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You don't want to overcook your thin steaks. It's now time to turn the steaks. It's been 3 minutes. And now we're gonna let them go just for another 2 to 3 minutes. Definitely don't want to overcook them. So I'm gonna say 2 minutes is gonna be plenty. Okay, 2 minutes have passed. I'm gonna remove the steaks while we make our sauce. You just want to leave all the garlic in there. I'm gonna set them aside and then we'll return them back in to just reheat them for a little bit. So now we're gonna add in our wine to deglaze the pan, about a quarter cup. And we're gonna let that cook down for a bit. We're also gonna add in our butter, 3 tablespoons of butter, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Just use your whisk to stir that up. And we're also gonna add our chicken broth or beef broth. And now we're gonna let it cook down for a bit. It's gonna thicken up, and then we're gonna return our steaks. Before you return the steaks, you also wanna have a taste. Make sure that it doesn't need any salt or pepper. So I'm just gonna taste it. It is perfect. It doesn't need any other seasoning. And we're gonna return our steaks back in, along with the juices. And we're ready to serve. You're just heating up the steak at this point. turn that off. Okay, it is time to plate our bitoque. So I'm gonna start off with the rice, and I just use like 1/3 of a cup measuring cup to measure it out. Now we're gonna take our steak. Let's take this little guy here. Our steak, like so. And we're gonna put some of the garlic over it. Like so. And we're gonna put some of the fries right here. And we can't forget our beautiful egg. And we're gonna put our salad on the side right here. Some tomatoes, some onions, a bit of carrot, and just dress it with a bit of olive oil. And we can't forget to add a few olives to our dish. And here we have it, bitoque. So now comes the really difficult part of the recipe, the tasting. I like to grab some of the steak, and there's the sauce underneath, and some fries, because, you know, fries. The meat is nice and tender, and the sauce is fantastic. And you have the rice and the fries that go with it. It's like a perfect meal. And believe it or not, it's the first thing I do when I get to Portugal is I gotta go have a bitoque. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Let me know if you make it. Let me know if you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see on the channel. Are there any other Portuguese recipes that you've always wanted to make but feel intimidated? Or maybe some Spanish recipes that you had while you were on the Camino or while you were traveling in Spain. This is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.